Marshall Goldsmith, how are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for inviting me to talk with you.
Well, we are very excited. Obviously, everyone knows who you are and what you do. The one of the greatest coaches and motivators probably the world has ever known. And we have featured you repeatedly last year at our Center for Social Capital for being very much a people-centric leader and promoting so many great leaders that you have brought to our center, and we have honored as well, and you have made us aware of. In fact, you have a perfect record on your recommendations, and so thank you so much for all your incredible and exciting insights, and bringing our attentions continue so many of these great people-centric leaders that are out there. Thank you so much for doing that.
Well, it's kind of what I do for a living, and I'm not sure I'd even define I'm a leader in the sense of a thought leader, much more that I'm not a business leader like these guys, but I do train great people-centric leaders, people like Alan Mulally and Hubert Joly and Harry Kramer and, Aisha Evans and, Frances Hesselbein, some of the great people you've met.
Yeah, and we've honored all of them, basically, after you've brought our attention to them, and they've brought so many incredible insights to us as well. So you're really just like the Johnny Appleseed of people-centric insights in that way. So we really appreciate that, and we could talk to you about so many things. And I've over and over again, I notice your amazing insights on LinkedIn, and I'll make a comment, and I gush over them. They're so incredibly inspiring, and I'm so thankful for them because so many people learn so much from you, and then go out and do that in the world in a very practical way. And so you have been such an incredible force and in spreading your knowledge and bringing your knowledge to so many. And I know a few years ago you decided you wanted to be able to give away
Right.
as much of your knowledge as you could, which is such an extraordinary concept when you think about it. I mean, obviously, your thoughts and insights are priceless, and the idea of being able to give them away to everyone so that they can really grow and multiply is extraordinary. And one of the ways that you're doing so now is something pretty exciting. We all have heard of AI, and so many people are talking about the dangers of AI, but you've got this very positive view of it. And tell our viewers a little bit about what you're doing and how it works.
Well, I'm very, very excited. Let me give you the history and the background. I feel very lucky to be able to do this. So what I'm doing right now is very amazing. It's unique. Let me give you a little history. I've always wanted to give away everything I know to as many people as I can. And why? I've had great teachers. I went to a program called Design the Life You Love. And the one who put on the program was named Aisha Bursell. And she asked me, who are my heroes? My heroes are Paul Hersey, Ken Blanchard, Warren Bennis, Frances Hesselbein, Alan Mulally. I mean, some people, supposedly my clients, actually are my teachers.
Mm.
I would view them more of a teacher than a client. And so I liked it. She said, why do you admire these people? I said, they're very kind and generous people who are great teachers. She said, you should be more like them. So I decided to give away everything I know to as many people as I can. And I started the 100 Coach Project, which, by the way, most of these people are members of that group. I started the 100 Coach Project, and the idea is I'm going to give you everything I know for free. And when you get older, you do the same thing. You help others. And that's the whole idea of the program. And it's kind of I call it knowledge philanthropy. It's not like giving you money. I'm giving you knowledge. So that's the essence of the program. And it's funny, I started out doing this program. I made a little LinkedIn thing, and I'm thinking, well, I made a little video. Would you like to be in this group? I'm going to teach you all I know for free. I'm going to adopt 15 people. Well, I thought 100 people would apply, and I would adopt 15. Well, I was wrong. 18,000 people applied.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
you've met many of them. It's not just how many applied, but who applied.
Yeah.
president of World Bank applies, and all these great CEOs you met apply. And I'm going, well, you can't reject these people. So now I have about 400 people in the program. Then I always try to give away everything I know with technology. You could just ask your questions, get answers. A lot harder than it sounds, really. I mean, I failed at this for 20 years. And then what happened just recently with the advent of artificial intelligence, it's gotten a lot better. Now I'm very, very lucky. To do what I'm doing right now, you need four things. One, you need to have a lot of content. If you have a lot of content, you can give away all you know, but there's nothing there. Two, you have to have content, but you also have to have followers. So on LinkedIn alone, I have 1.5 million followers because you give away everything you know, but okay, who cares?
Yeah.
And then, three, you got to be willing to give it away, which not that many of me are. I mean, I have the world's best intellectual property system. There's no way to steal you can't steal my intellectual property. It's impossible to steal. Why? I give it away. You can't steal what someone gives you. A great security system. Fail-proof. You cannot steal it. Even if you tried, you can't. And I got somebody to pay for this. There's a company called Fractal Analytics, and I was the coach of these guys. And they're Indians, and guru just means teacher in Hindi. I'm the guru, and this is give back from them. They're just doing it basically. It's a good deed. So basically, I'm giving away all I know to as many people as I can for free. My computer bot, marshallgoldsmith.ai. Just go there. You can go there on your website right now. It's already been asked 100,000 questions, and it's getting better and better and better. Now, originally, my goal was to give away all I knew. It's way better than that. Now, it's gone beyond that. My daughter, Kelly Goldsmith, Kelly's a professor at Vanderbilt and, PhD from Yale. So she wants to trick the computer. How is your coaching related to utilitarian philosophy? I don't know what utilitarian philosophy is. It's utilitarian philosophy. It studies my coaching. How's it similar and different? Then it's asked, how would Marshall Goldsmith answer this question? And it answers it exactly like I would.
Wow.
In 5 seconds, soon to be in 44 languages. This is mind-blowing. So now that leads me to the next generation. The next generation is now I'm working at making it much more human. You see, my computer bot right now is excellent. I mean, it can answer questions better than me. I'm not saying it to be modest. I'm not a computer. It knows everything I know plus a lot more. So now I'm working on a way to make it more human, because the thing about a computer bot is sounds like a computer. It sounds like text.
Right.
Now, what I'm now doing is training it not to sound like text, to sound like a human being talking. Now, this is different. This is very, very different. So it's not going to sound like you're talking to a computer. It's going to sound like you're talking to a human. Now, for example, I ask it, what is your educational background? Just give me this is going to be about a minute or two, so our listeners can be patient. My name is Marshall Goldsmith. I am from a small town called Valley Station, Kentucky. During my first 4 years of elementary school, we had a primitive outhouse. We did not have indoor plumbing at our school. My high school was ranked number 2 from the bottom in Kentucky in academic achievement. Kentucky was ranked near the bottom of the United States. I did not go to Harvard Prep. My mother went to college for 2 years, which was very unusual for a woman in my neighborhood at that time. She was a primary school teacher. My father concluded that women with children should not work. The bad news was that we got to be very poor. The good news was she devoted all of her school teacher energy to one student, me. I knew how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide before I went to school. After my first day of school, I concluded that I must be the smartest person who ever lived. I was not a great achiever in high school. At age 14, I was the first in my class to be detained by the police for disorderly conduct. Although I was not a very motivated student, I was fortunate enough to get extremely high scores on the scholastic aptitude tests. This enabled me to get a scholarship to go to college. My undergraduate school, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, is a wonderful school. It has been ranked the #1 small engineering school in the U.S. for 24 years. I was not a wonderful student. I made 5 Ds and was lucky to graduate.
In 2023, I was the graduation speaker and received an honorary PhD in engineering. I told the story of my unimpressive youth and then led a standing ovation for the bottom half of the class.
That's awesome. I did not know many of those things about you. And
See, I'm going to go through, I'm now retraining my computer. See, that doesn't sound like an AI bot.
no, it was entertaining. It was fun. It
I
had
tell,
your humor.
yeah, and it's my voice.
Yeah, that was very surprising. Uh, like, so how have you done that? Not to
Well,
get too technical, but how have you?
well, now again, you have to realize, as I said, I have an honorary PhD in engineering. Keyword honorary. I don't have a clue. I don't, the technology I know absolutely nothing about. Now, what happened is one of the guys I'm working with at Fractal Analytics, I have 8 engineers working on this. This is,
Oh wow!
by the way, what you just heard, this is not inexpensive. No, no. There's some serious investment in this thing, right? I put in hundreds of hours, a lot of checks, so this is not that. I mean, it's kind of funny to listen to, but being able to do that stuff, yeah, not so easy. So what happens is one of the guys had an idea. Why don't I do it? The world's first AI bot book. Well, I thought, well, that's an interesting idea. But then I thought the problem is going to be boring. I mean, it's like if you go to my AI bot, say how to be a better delegator. Well, the answers are very good, but it's like lists and stuff, and yeah, who wants to read boring answer after boring answer?
Hmm.
I decided I'm going to write a book that sounds interesting and fun, and then reverse engineer the book so the AI bot talks this way. That's what I've just
Oh wow!
This is my new project. This is what I'm doing right now. This is today's project. So anyway, now I've decided I want the AI bot to talk like a human being, not like a computer bot. Now, let me give you a subtle point. Every computer bot, every AI bot is biased. For example, if you go to ChatGPT and say, what is leadership? It'll give you an answer.
Hmm.
Okay, why that answer? There are 50 possible answers, 100 answers.
Sure, right.
As soon as it gives you an answer, it is biased by something. My computer bot is biased by me. I'm the bias.
Okay.
So what I'm not saying my answer is the best answer or the only answer or even a good answer. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
my answer.
So this is extraordinary and wonderful, and I mean, honestly, I've heard and read a lot of AI attempts, and I mean, yours is up there in the top 1% of anything I've ever heard. I mean, that was very surprisingly fantastic, and possibly because it's you've spent an enormous amount of money on, which might have a lot to do with it.
And time.
Yes, and time. But it brings up another great question, which is you are so enthusiastic about this, and I guess the probably part of the answer to the question I'm going to ask you is, lies in the fact that you have said, you have the greatest intellectual property approach ever. You give it all away. So many people out there, celebrities and so on, have talked about how they're afraid of AI stealing their personality, stealing their voice. Other people could mimic them, so on and so forth. Do you have any fear of that?
No, I probably have one advantage over many of them, though. You know what that is? I'm almost 76. I'm going to be dead anyway.
Well, that's an
Yeah, I'm going to
interesting
be
perspective
dead
on
anyway.
but no, it sounds like you're just generally excited about your thoughts and ideas getting out there in as many ways as possible. So maybe that has a lot to do with why you don't have this fear of this, because you just want the information out there. You want the
Well,
insights out
look,
there.
I'm a Buddhist, and a lot of what I use in coaching and teaching is Buddhist philosophy. Now, I don't know if I told you this, but I recently called Buddha up. I said, you know, Buddha, I use your stuff all the time. Should I send you a commission check? You know what Buddha said? It's cool. Just do whatever you want. It's okay. You don't have to send me money. I don't recall me sending Buddha lots of commission checks.
That's a very Buddhist response.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now,
So,
also, another Buddhist concept, I invented a term called feed forward. Very famous term, feed forward.
okay.
I teach people, you ask for input, listen, say thank you, you don't judge, you don't critique, and you do it over and over, you get better. I've used this thousands of times. I've taught this to over 1 million people, just humans talking to 1 million people. This whole thing is based on the idea of feed forward. You ask it for ideas, it gives you ideas. You listen. If you like the idea, you use it. If you don't, you don't.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It,
mean, it's so
it's
simple. It's
free
such a,
anyway.
yeah,
It's free
exactly.
anyway. Buddha said, only do what I teach that works for you. If it doesn't work for you, it's okay, don't do it.
Hmm.
Paul Hersey, my old mentor, taught me never argue about definitions. Leadership is this. No, leadership is that. There's not some God in the sky defining words. You just say, this is the way I define it. I'm not saying it's the best definition or the only definition. It's just the definition I'm using right now.
I
What?
love that. It's a more is better approach to knowledge and insights. It does. I mean, these things are simple when somebody like you says them, but they're so complicated otherwise. And we waste a lot of time trying to define and choose information and insights. And I always think about the parable of the blind men and the elephant, and they all thought they knew, what it was, and they had a different idea. And it wasn't until they combined their perceptions that they realized it was an elephant. And that's always been such a powerful story for me. And it just gets right to the nature of what you're talking about. And if we could all just have this mindset, not just about AI, but about everything, right? Every day, that we're a giant collective, right? And we can learn something from everyone, and we can grow and develop. Every human interaction is an opportunity to do that, right? And so I love this, and I love the fact that you're not fearful of this, but you're seeing the opportunity in it. Because I think every time something new comes along, right, or every time we learn something or we have an opportunity to grow, there's that impetus sometimes to fear it, right? To fear anything new. And I love that you're embracing this, so much.
Also, look, let's face it, at my age, how cool is this? It's just ridiculously cool. Some young guy comes to me, oh, hello, man. Do you know anything about artificial intelligence? I go, no, I don't know much, but my little friend may be able to talk to you. I don't know much, but my little buddy can talk to you.
So how's the response been to this so
It's
far?
very positive. Very, very, and look, what you heard then is only going to get better.
Mm.
It's
Hmm.
only going to get better. And what it does, by the way, the other interesting thing, it doesn't just answer shallow questions. It can answer deep questions. It can answer deep questions. And that's something that surprised me about all AI bots, really. That they can answer deep questions. What's interesting about the average computer bot, it answers deep questions better than mathematical questions sometimes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for example, if you ask it pretty deep philosophical questions, it does really well, but you ask it sometimes complex mathematical questions, they mess it up. And so it is interesting how these things can deal with very deep topics. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, I was going to say, give us one.
Yeah. Uh, how is your how is your work related to the Buddhist concept of impermanence? Now, that is not what you call a shallow question, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
My educational background in organizational behavior and my studies in Buddhist philosophy intersect in the concept of impermanence. While my formal education provided me with the academic foundation to understand human behavior within organizations, my study of Buddhism has enriched my perspective by emphasizing the transient nature of all things, including success, leadership roles, and organizational dynamics. The principle of impermanence reminds us that change is the only constant, and this understanding is crucial in the business world, where adaptability and resilience are key to success. In my coaching, I integrate this wisdom by helping leaders and executives embrace change, let go of outdated practices, and continuously evolve both personally and professionally. This approach is informed by both my academic background and my philosophical studies, creating a holistic framework for growth and development.
Wow. Wow. My God, I was transfixed by that, actually. A robot just had me spellbound. I love that. But, I think it does. As I was listening to that, I was thinking about the vast amount of content that you have created. And that gets back to what you said originally, right?
Right.
That bot has so much to pick from.
Right.
So it has an opportunity to make a lot of choices. I think a lot of people don't understand about AI is that it's not making things up.
Oh, no.
It's grabbing things in an incredibly complicated way. And
Well, it puts things together,
yes,
right?
yeah,
Now, for example, if you're in Germany, for example, and ask it a question, how old are you? If you're in Germany and ask this question, what would the answer be? Well, basically, it would answer in German how old I am.
really.
Oh, yeah. It speaks many languages, right? And yeah, it'll answer questions in multiple languages, and it's funny, and it's actually pretty good.
Ich wurde am 20. März 1949 geboren. Ich fühle mich innerlich immer noch jung.
So it's a super enhanced version of you.
Oh, way enhanced. It's going to be able to do 44 languages. Now, what's coming up next is the video. I've seen demos of this. The video is ungodly.
What do you mean? It's going to.
Oh,
You mean it's actually.
It's going to look exactly like me.
And then you'll be speaking and talking and wow.
In 44 languages.
Oh, this is incredible.
I mean,
I did not know the depth to which you were doing this and involved in this. And this is so in line with something that we're going to be talking about, because we're going to be really diving deep into AI and the potential of AI. And I'm so glad that you took this time to talk about this, because we really want to educate our viewers about the people-centric potential of this and how AI can improve the world and can make things better. And it's not something we should be afraid of and fear, but embrace and figure out how it can help us.
Well, look, I think you're making a great point. I'm not saying the fears are unjustified. They're not unjustified. These are not stupid people that have fears. On the other hand, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this train has left the station.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. It is not going to go away. Now, option A, I could be a grumpy old man going, man, I don't like that new technology there. Or I can say, get on it. Let's make it work for good. It's going to happen anyway. Do some good. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to happen. By the way, you can sit there and complain it should or shouldn't happen. Well, good luck to you. there's not, by the way, the whole AI field, we're not talking about billions of dollars here. Oh, no, no, no. We're talking trillions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
This is serious stuff. This is going to happen. And sitting there and whining about it, what does that prove? Nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
get with a plan. This makes them do some good. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to do some good. The reality is maybe they won't. I'm not everybody, though. I'm not responsible for the rest of the world. I can be responsible for me.
Yeah, and what better way to combat the bad that might be done, than to use it for good and figure out ways to use it for good, and then it will outweigh the bad, hopefully.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing. And I love that your openness to this, as well as your openness to so many ideas, Marshall. I think is one of the primary reasons why you continue to grow and evolve and be so relevant and so meaningful. And you mentioned earlier, you said you're gonna die one day, and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, you're so open and vital. I mean, you might live forever, and you certainly will with your AI bot. So
Oh, yeah, this guy, yeah. And also for me, look, this is smarter than me. I'm not putting myself down here, but let's get real. I couldn't answer that question about the Buddhist concept of impermanence as well as it. Well, maybe I could answer that question pretty well. But like I said, the question about how's your work related to utilitarian philosophy, I couldn't answer it. I'm not stupid, but I don't know everything in the world. Uh, you could ask, how's your work related to Islamic philosophy, Christian philosophy, utilitarian philosophy, Plato, anything? Boom. It studies it. It studies me. But it also knows how, if I did the study, I would answer the question.
I
fed this thing 3 million words.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It knows me.
And it's no different than any other machine or mechanism that we've used, which is essentially just leveraging our own human potential, leveraging our possibilities. That's what a car does, right? That's what a machine does. That's what a construction machinery does. It just makes us stronger, better, more capable, able to do things that we couldn't do on our own. And that's all this is doing. It's not replacing you. It needs you. It needs
Well,
your.
no. I have to say, ultimately, the goal is to replace me. I'm not going to be here anyway. So, in my case, see, in my case, this replacement concept is not a negative; it's a positive. In my case, I'm not.
One could argue. One could argue, though. One could make a spiritual argument that it would not be replacing you. It would simply be prolonging you.
There you go. That's a very good way to look at it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I love all those thoughts, Marshall. I could talk to you for hours, and we are definitely going to have you back again to give us an update on all of this.
One thing I would be happy to help you with is, if you want me to talk to your group about AI, I'd be happy to talk to them. And by the end of the year, again, I can't promise this date, but I'd say it's not unlikely. By the end of the year, it's going to be eminently possible that you're going to see something that looks exactly like me, that sounds almost identical to me, that's funny, tells stories, and it answers questions.
Wow. Oh my God, that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
All right, we are definitely going to have to follow up with you on this in a lot of ways. So, Marshall,
way,
thank you.
Other than that, not much new.
Other than that, other than creating an entirely new manifestation of you, nothing much. I love that. Okay, so again, just remind our viewers, where do they go again?
MarshallGoldsmith.ai. My
Wonderful,
name,
wonderful.
Marshall
Very
Goldsmith,
easy.
.ai. Start asking questions. Ultimately, you need to put in somehow your your name.com or whatever .com address you have. So then it'll remember you. But that's it. It's all free, by the way.
Very cool. Very cool. Marshall, thank you so much. And take care, and we will definitely talk to you soon.